Hello, this is Shirley in the Southern Gals Kitchen, and we want to welcome you here today. It's Sunday afternoon, and we're making Country Captain Chicken. Now, Country Captain Chicken is a really old recipe. In the South, we've talked about around New Orleans, we have the Cajuns and the Creoles. And the Cajuns came over, and the Creoles, the French, came over, and they both settled. And a lot of times, the Cajuns worked for the French Creoles. And their cuisines, in that sense, became united. And so a lot of recipes will be kind of Cajun Creole. This is one of those recipes that came over with the Creole, but it also has some India influences in it. It's a really good recipe. And you know, one of the things you can do, and I would highly recommend it. I'm going to turn that down a minute. You can take all the ingredients for this. Like, it's got bell pepper. I use banana pepper. That's what I grew in my garden. Banana pepper, onions, garlic, your seasonings, your curry, and your flour and salt and pepper and all that. You can prep all that ahead of time. Then you can come in and make this dish. You can put it together in just a little bit. I would highly recommend, if you wanted to make it through the week, get everything prepped out, come in and make it, and then you bake it about 30 minutes. I'm using chicken thighs here today because we like them. They're not as dry to me. You can use chicken breast. You just wouldn't bake them as long, cook them as long maybe. Just cook these till they're tender, and we're going to later put them in the oven. So I've got a half a cup of flour here, just all purpose. I've got a tablespoon and a half of sweet paprika, 2 teaspoons of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. This is for 8 chicken thighs. If you did breast, it'd be about the same. It's about the same amount of meat. It's almost equal to about a 4-pound chicken. It's about 4 pounds of meat. It's kind of what you look at. You want to just blend these together. Then you're ready to start dredging your chicken. We're just going to dredge it. We're going to cook it just till it's tender. Again, it's going to finish cooking in the oven. So that part's pretty easy. It really doesn't take long. Once you prep this out, it doesn't take so long to make it at all. Now just put your chicken thighs in there, or your breast, whatever pieces. You want to cut a whole chicken, you can do that. You just cook your dark, and your light. Your dark longer than you cook your light, and that's really all there is to it. That grease should be hot. It is. We're going to do about 4 pieces at a time. I have 8 here. We'll eat this leftover. It's good leftover. And I'm going to cook some rice, and we're going to serve it with some rice. I like rice with it. You don't have to. You could just do the chicken. You can have green beans or salad or whatever else you wanted. And I'm going to do some rice with mine. Don't overcrowd your skillet because things don't cook well. That's a really big piece, so that might crowd it. This one's smaller. I'm going to use it. You just dredge it in there, and your flour, just coat it good, and put it in your pan. Just let it cook, I don't know, 6 or 8 minutes or so. And then when that's sort of done, that is a big piece. Let me get another smaller one. When that's done, we'll transfer these to a platter. I'll finish cooking the rest of it, and then we'll go on to the next step. The next step is going to be stir-frying our peppers and onions and garlic and things like that. And you could do 2 skillets, but why? I just use one. I only have one thing to wash that way. And I like cast iron. I can't cook. Cast iron to cook in. I just have always liked cast iron, and I use it a lot. I think a lot of people in the South and Mid-South do. And maybe in the North too, I don't know. But let's just cook until it just gets tender. Like I said, maybe 6 to 8 minutes. And then we'll turn it over here in just a little bit. I'll finish cooking the other pieces. And we'll go on to the vegetables. Then it's just a matter of putting it together and baking it in the oven. So if you have all that peppers, and you want to mix everything in little pieces. Your peppers, I use banana peppers out of my garden. I sliced them in little strips, minced them up in little pieces. I did 2 cloves of garlic. I did about 5 banana peppers. I did 2 cloves of garlic, pretty good sized cloves, and I minced them up. And then I did a small, or kind of a medium sized onion, and I minced it up. But again, all that prep could be done today on Sunday or Saturday or your day off. And then when you come in, that's ready. And you could even measure out all your your curry, like I said, your curry and your pepper and your salt and your sweet paprika. You can have little containers with those things in them. Or little tiny, you know, you get these little bitty plastic bags that's so big, kind of zip the top. You could use those for your seasonings too. That's not ready to turn yet. But you could plan ahead and you can have a meal going, or a meal in the oven, and then you can go ahead and, you know, put some laundry on or do whatever else you need to do. But plan ahead for your meals, whether it's country captain or Cajun shrimp and spaghetti like we cooked not long ago. You can do a lot of prepping ahead of time on things. Just prep what you can. And then you've got your things ready to cook. Come in and you can prep 2 good meals for the week. And maybe your other meals are going to be a little bit more simple, but you can have a couple of good meals. You could prep 3. You could prep 5 if you wanted to. But at least prep 1 or 2 and have those ready to start cooking. That's getting nice and golden brown. I don't know if you can see it. And when it gets, like I said, starting to get tender, that's all we're really looking for at this stage. I'll take this up at that point. I'll do the rest. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, I have all the chicken fried and put over here on the dredged and fried, put over here on the tray. Now, there'll be flour and grease and stuff in here. I take paper towels, tongs, and I just clean this out really well. I've already cleaned it out, but that's how I do it. You can do another skillet if you want to. I don't like to wash dishes. I don't have somebody do it for me. So that's what I do. Clean that out really good. Then you're ready to start on the next. We have 2 tablespoons of butter. Again, the skillet's still hot. So go ahead and put that in there. I've got kind of a medium-high heat. I have 5 of my bell peppers. Not bell. I keep saying bell. You can use bell peppers. Banana peppers. Pretty good size ones. You can see I've cut them up really finely. Cut them in little strips, and then I cut them up in little bitty pieces. So we're going to cook those. Those in there first. Then we cook our peppers and our onions, 1 medium onion, finely cut too, minced. We cook the peppers and onions and things before you do the garlic. The garlic will tend to burn on you, so you don't want that. You don't want that in there until last. So you want to cook this until it's tender. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. It just has to get tender. That's all it has to do. Kind of what you might say translucent. Some people would say translucent. But it's just mainly you're going to get it tender because, again, it's all going in the oven. So it'll finish cooking there. But just let it cook a little bit. I'll turn it up a little bit more. I think I got it cooled off too much. When that gets tender, we'll add got 2 cloves of garlic. And, again, minced finely. Garlic smells good. Those peppers and onions smell pretty good too. And then we'll just go from there. This is such a good dish for anybody. Southerners love their country captain chicken. I call it country captain. Some people call it captain chicken. It's a pretty well-known recipe in the South and in the Mid-South. I think it's one of those recipes, though, that a lot of people have forgotten to cook or how to cook or don't know how to cook. I don't know. It'll become very popular in your house, I believe, if you'll make it. If you don't like so many onions and peppers, I suppose you could leave some of that out, but to me it wouldn't be as good. I mean, time that's cooked in there, kids don't like peppers. I don't really think they're going to too much know they're there. But, I don't know. You could do it with just some garlic and a little onion, I guess. But we like the peppers, the onions, the good old southern things. You know, Southerners used bell peppers and banana peppers because that's what they had, what they grew. In the North, they used more carrots, peppers, things like that. But in the South, I mean, carrots, onions, garlic, and things. But in the South, they used the peppers. They probably grew peppers a long time ago. And maybe they might have grown carrots, they might not have. Depends. And I like the pepper and onion and garlic. Those are the 3 I like together. I'm not as crazy about putting any nice carrot in it or anything. If you like it, no problem. But I just like, I like it like this. This is starting to smell so good, y'all. You gotta make it. You just gotta make it. getting tender. It takes 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how hot your skillet is. And our skillet like this, it's gonna soften up pretty quickly because again our skillet was already hot anyway. Oh, it smells good. You can just eat that, I think. Put it on toast and eat it. Okay. Still in just another minute. I want it really to soften up there. Then we're going to add, once we get this part done, we're going to add in some other spices. We're going to add in a couple of teaspoons of curry and about 1/4 cup. I've got dried parsley. Again, I grow parsley. I'm using it for a beautiful plant. It's just beautiful. It's got little places on the leaves. I just don't feel comfortable eating it. I don't know what it is. I may have to do some research. So I just use the dried parsley. If you have fresh, that would be awesome too. But you'll want your about 1/4 cup of parsley, chopped up if it's fresh, obviously. And your 2 teaspoons of curry. And we're going to be adding those in here in a little bit too. And I've got a couple of cans of tomatoes, 14.5 ounce cans. They're the cooked tomatoes. I use the diced. And they have the basil and oregano and garlic in them. If you can't find that, just get diced tomatoes or just chop up tomatoes. And add a little bit of basil, garlic, and oregano in there. The same difference. Now this is really getting hot now. Add my garlic. You don't want to overcook the garlic. It will burn and it will ruin your dish. Burnt garlic is, well, it's not good, obviously. It's not good. That cooks very quickly. Wow. That was very good too. We're not going to cook that too long at all. I'm going to move my chicken. Pull this back off the heat just a little bit. Then our curry, 2 teaspoons. I love curry powder. I don't know if you do. I love chicken curry, anything with curry in it. And again, about 1/4 cup of dried parsley. And this just has to kind of cook until it's fragrant. Doesn't have to cook until it's changed to a wooden spoon. A little bit easier for this part. It's really, really nice starting to smell. That's where the Indian influence comes in. The peppers and onions and garlic would be a lot of Creole cooking and in Cajun cooking. But your spices like curry would be the India influence. But it makes it really, 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 really good. I've got a soup made with some curry powder that I'll make. I'll make it sometime. It's just amazing. It's just so, so good. It's not the usual that a lot of people are familiar with. It's just a really, really good soup. Okay, we'll just let that simmer on low, very low, just to get it kind of fragrant. We are about ready to put this in the oven. This is cooked down about 15 minutes. It's made a really good smelling sauce. Your tomatoes have cooked down a little bit. They'll cook more in the oven. You could make this sauce up and put it in the refrigerator, get it cold, and then have that ready for your meal the next night or 2 nights. You could do that. You could get this far on your prepping if you wanted to. Got my chicken in my baking dish, number 13. I'm going to spoon this in. I'm going to turn this on low because I'm going to cook some rice here in a minute. I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of raisins. My yummy dehydrated raisins. It took me 3 days to cook. And we're going to put this right on top of the chicken and cook it. If it's chicken breast, about 30 minutes. Just check it. You know, chicken's 180 degrees. You can use your thermometer. With a thermometer like I am a baking scale, I believe in using them. This is chicken thighs. It could take a little longer. I'm going to spoon this on there carefully because this is hot. I'm not going to pick that big old skillet up. And then when we serve this, I'll put it on top of some rice. And we're going to put some slivered almonds. I'm going to toast those up here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and toast them, have them ready. You know, just toast them in a skillet with just watch them so they don't burn. But just put your slivered almonds in there. You can put a tiny, tiny bit of butter in there if you want to. You don't have to. You can just cook them. I've done it. And have them ready for your put on top. This smells so good. can smell that curry. I can smell those onions. I can smell that garlic. Smell those tomatoes. I don't know what tomatoes exactly smell like, but it smells good. I think I'm really smelling the curry and the onions and the garlic the most. Just a really good sauce. You know, they make some jar sauces that you might say, well, that's a lot like those. No, those jar sauces are nothing like this. This is awesome. I'm going to clean this skillet up in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and cook this rice. Now, this is ready to go into the oven. It looks good. 325, a low oven. Now, for my rice, I have a half cup of rice, which is enough for us, more than enough. You know, it make a cup and a half. I mean, a half a cup of rice will make a cup and a half cooked. Now I've got a half cup of rice, a cup of water. I'll turn it up, and I'll get it to boiling, then I'll turn it down, put a lid on it, and let it cook until it's done. 10 or 15, about 15 minutes. Got a half tablespoon of butter and about a third of a teaspoon of Creole seasoning. Now, the seasoning I buy has salt and things in it. So be careful that you're not adding any salt here until you taste it. You can always add more Creole seasoning, but you sure can't take it out. I like it kind of spicy, so when it gets cooked, I'll taste it. If I want more in there, I'll put more in there at that point. I won't add any salt because it's going to have enough salt. So this will come to a boil, but this Creole rice is amazing. I cook it all the time. You'll never eat plain rice again once you start doing this. It's just so good. All right. We'll let that cook a little bit. 30 minutes or 40, about 45 minutes. We'll put some topping and put all this together. We've got this wonderful country captain out of the oven. You know, we baked it in the 9x13 dish. Makes quite a bit. Got my rice that I added extra butter to, a little bit, and a little bit more Creole seasoning. And it's ready to taste. And I've got my toasted almonds. I love almonds on the top, and I like to just slightly toast them. And I like a lot of almonds, so I'm going to put them on there. And this is, use this fork. This is an amazing dish. It's a good Sunday brunch dinner dish, Sunday dinners. I like to do Sunday dinners. And this is a really, really good one. Kind of like chicken and dumplings, but not like chicken and dumplings, but a favorite like that. You can taste that Creole seasoning on the rice and on the meat. Those chicken thighs are just so juicy and tender. I mean, just so tender. You've got that curry taste a little bit in there. It's just awesome. Your onions and banana peppers and garlic. All good stuff. I love Creole seasoning and butter on rice. With any dish, really. And those almonds on top just give them a little crunch. And the raisins. There's a raisin. I'm going to get a raisin. You gotta try it. You just have to try it. It may become one of your family's favorites like it is mine. Let me know if you do try it, how you like it. And we will see you on the next show on the Southern Gal's Kitchen.